Hi, I'm Sabrina. Welcome back to my channel. So the Grammys happened recently and I didn't watch them, but I did see coverage of it all over my social media. And one of the things I came across was Miley Cyrus's performance of Flowers. And oh my God, that dress. My first thought was, I want to make that dress. And my second thought was, how the heck would I make that dress? It looks to be freaking hand beaded and that's not a skill set I have. So I was just kind of like, wish I could make it. I guess we'll see. And then my mom sent me a video of Miley Cyrus on the red carpet in this dress. And apparently it's made entirely out of safety pins. And now I had a pretty good idea of how I was gonna make that dress. Now I should say I purchased the safety pins before I actually read the information that was shared in the video showing the safety pin dress, which was, it took 14,000 safety pins to make that dress, and it took over 650 hours to make it, and it looked like it was multiple people working on it. So knowing that information, kind of nervous, but I already decided I was gonna make this dress, so kind of too late at this point. So to start, I measured out some wire to go on either side of my chest. These would act as an anchor for the safety pins that would cover the chest. And I put a loop on either end that the straps and the rest of the dress would attach to. Then I quickly realized I wouldn't be able to get my safety pins on the wire, so I undid one of the loops on each end so I could begin adding my strands of safety pins along the wires. I used a small silver bead between each strand to give the safety pins some space so they could lay flat. And here you can kind of see what we're going for. So I strung the strands to the other wire, and with a twist, the bust area was looking pretty similar to the dress. So I'm gonna quickly jump in here and talk about some changes I made as well as my strategy moving forward. So I ended up changing the chest piece a little bit. While I liked that I could get the safety pins to twist like the dress, it just wasn't looking clean, and every time you moved, it just kind of got disorganized and jumbled. So instead, I switched it out for a little jump link and 2 D-rings, and I think that just makes it sit nicer and will look nicer overall. It's a deviation from the original design, but I think it still gets the general point across. And then on her dress, she's got this scoop that is just kind of bare, showing her midsection, and then all the dangly bits hang from there. So I think for that, what I'm gonna do is I have chain that I will cut a length that is good length, hang it from either end, it'll leave the center exposed, and then I can start hanging the rest of my safety pins from there. And her back seems to do the same thing. It's got a low swoop and then everything hangs from there. So I'm probably gonna cut a piece of chain for there as well and start hanging my safety pins down the back. So that is gonna be the next part moving forward. Fingers crossed we got this, and we'll start moving along. So I did exactly that, cutting a length of chain for the front and hanging my safety pins from there. Then I did the same thing for the back, testing to see where I wanted the scoop in the back to fall, cutting a length of chain to fit that, then hanging the strands of safety pins from there. Now while the dress was coming along, I just had all these pieces pinned to the mannequin, so I quickly added a jump link on either side to attach the front and back of the skirt to the chest piece. Now looking at the original dress, you'll see the whole thing is in silver but has these pops of color, so I had to come up with a solution for that. My initial thought was just to find beads and string them along the safety pins, but finding beads the right color was proving really difficult, and I thought it might look kind of unbalanced because I'd only be able to string them along the side of the safety pin that opened. So instead I found sequins that were almost an exact match as far as color and decided to hot glue them in the center of my safety pins. This meant they wouldn't be able to open, so I just put jump links on either end so I could add them to the safety pin strands where they were needed. And even though it still had a long way to go, it was at this point that I ran out of the safety pins. So I thought it might be a good time to add the straps so I could actually try it on. Her dress was crisscrossed in the back, so I used more chain to make those straps and do the same thing, and now that it had straps, I could try it on. So I just got out of the shower and thought now might be a good time to try on the dress. That way I don't have a repeat of my rope dress situation. Ready to see it on? Are you ready? Where it looked all funky. I won't show you the whole thing, but I'll show you a sneak peek. First of all, I will just say, I'm guessing Miley Cyrus had an entire team helping her get into that dress because this literally took like 20 minutes to get into because it kept getting tangled. So this is it right now. These straps need to be brought up so the chest area is sitting right. I also want to see, these don't seem like they're aligned right. One seems better than the other, so I have to go through and count and make sure that all the safety pins are the same number on each side and each strand. And then these straps are pulling weird, so I feel like rather than having them attached to the swoop chain in the back, I'll probably have them just attached to the ring that I attached the bra piece to and this swoop to, so hopefully that'll hang lower and better. I still have a long way to go, but I think it's good that I tried it on and I could figure out what exactly I need to do moving forward. As far as length, it seems like it's pretty close to what it should be, so that's good. Yeah, I guess that's it. Good thing I tried it on, because clearly there's some alterations that need to take place. So that's exactly what I did. Starting with the chest area, I just counted and made sure everything was even. Then I also removed some pins to tighten it up a bit because it seemed like it was pretty loose. And luckily, my safety pins came in so I could get to finishing the skirt section. Now when I tried it on, along with it being heavy and confusing to get into, it also got super tangled. So I figured a way to remedy this would be essentially to hem it using safety pins. So I basically just used small safety pins to attach each adjacent strand to one another. Apparently I didn't get footage of this, but you can see it here. Now in her dress, there also was a really nice fringe. I could have probably gotten this by just using small safety pins, but I thought it would look a little bit cleaner if I used chain instead, so I ended up doing that. So this is the amount of chain fringe I got done. As you can see, it's less than half, but I only bought 2 of them and one is already out. So I have a feeling I'm gonna have to get more, but we'll see how far I can get with the next roll. And as you can see, I guessed right and didn't have enough chain. But figured, since we were getting close to being done, it might be a good idea to try it on again. Which, while it helped me with fitting, ended up being kind of a bad idea. Good morning / afternoon. Let's talk through this. I am not feeling well, so I got a slow start today, but I am determined to get this done. I got more chain, so we can finish up the last section. It just took me about a half an hour to get this back onto the mannequin. So now that it is detangled and back on the mannequin, what we're gonna do, finish up this section with the chain and with my safety pin hem. Make sure the hem follows a nice line like hers does, how it goes up by the thighs and down in the middle. Readjust the straps because they were too loose and tightening them made it near impossible to get in and out. So I think I have clasps that I can put on there so I can do it and undo it in order to get in. And then I had stopped adding the sequin elements because I was just focused on getting the chains done. But I need to go in and add all the sequin safety pins to match the color parts on her dress. So that should be very manageable to get done today. So let's see if we can do that. Let's montage for this last part. Time for the reveal. So all in all, considering this is literally safety pins, I think it looks pretty good. Clearly nowhere near as opulent as her dress, but I could see someone wearing this to like a festival or a rave or something. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to see more like this, maybe check out my video where I make a dress out of origami cranes. See you next time. Bye!